Hello everybody, it's Jed here, your coach of the Adelaide Redraks. And yeah, so this is another draft league starting up that I am actually in from the start this time. So I do have a draft analysis as well. The Distortion Battle Association. Some cool people there. I'm in this with Ian again, Frostfire, I think Monster. And yeah, it's started up by TJ Flygon and Levity. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting little league. Like, this is going to be a league where, I say that like I'm trying new stuff in all my other leagues anyway, but this league is a league for me to experiment and try out new styles of play and stuff like that, which you'll see when I go through this draft that I've done. I was 5th pick in this draft, so not terrible near the start. Out of 16, I want to say again. But yeah, that's 5th out of 16 is not bad. So there's definitely some potential to get some power picks. And it's relatively close to a wheel as well, so I'm not like stuck right in the middle. So picking up some picks in quick succession is always decently nice. But yeah, so first up, I wanted Hooper Unbound, because that is allowed in this league. It is the only... No, not the only Uber. Pheromosa is also allowed in this league. And Protein Greninja, Ash Greninja. Anyway, yeah, there's a couple of like Ubers that are allowed in this league, which is interesting. But yeah, so my first pick, because Hooper U got taken, like, I think it got taken second. I'm surprised it didn't get taken first. But either way, I knew that it was probably going to go before I got it. There was potential that it didn't, depending on what other people decided to pick, but it did, as I thought. So I had to go with my backup, which is Mega Diancie. Now, most leagues that I have been in have Mega Diancie as like a tier A mega, one of the megas that either costs you some of your points, your free agent points, or they count as your tier 1 pick or something like that. This one had it as the mid-tier megas, like it doesn't cost any points, doesn't give you any points. So yeah, I picked this up as my mega for free, which I feel is a really decent pick, because that frees up some points for me to get used later on in the draft. And with 50 HP, 160 attack, 110 defense, 160 special attack, 110 defense, special defense, and then 110 speed, definitely a threat. With the magic bounce ability, which is cool, can stop hazards and stuff like that. Not the most reliable hazard removal or stopping, but it like requires predictions and stuff like that. But it's still nice to have the option. And as I said at the start of this, I'm using this as a league to experiment and test out new ideas and things that I think of. So, I don't want anyone to think that I'm not going to be taking this league seriously, because I am. I'm going to take all my matches seriously. I'm going to prep as well as I can. And I'm definitely not going to be throwing matches or anything like that. Like, I'm going to be putting my full effort in. It's just, like, some of these ideas that I'm going with maybe are not ideal or anything like that, but it's like just some neat things that I want to try out. Yeah, so I'm not going to spoil the kind of not really theme, I guess, but like the play style that I want to aim for this league just yet, but it will become pretty evident. I feel like once you start seeing the picks and start seeing some of the stuff that they can do. But yeah, anyway, Mega Dancy gets some cool things set up in Carmind, removes statuses in Heal Bell, set up with Rock Polish, gets Stealth Rocks and Trick Room, which is some nice utility to have, along with its pretty decent coverage of both physical and special attacking moves, which is pretty neat. Definitely a good first round pick, I think, especially at the budget 0 points for my mega slot, which, definitely happy to have got that. And next up, I wanted to start fleshing out my, my Fairy Steel Dragon core. I don't pick my dragon until later. You'll realize why when I do. It started off as a slow draft, but then most of the picks got done in a fast draft, which is it's pretty cool. I wasn't able to be around for it, so I had to pass my picks off to someone else. Ian, my friend Ian. But yeah, so luckily I got pretty much everything I wanted, which is pretty cool. Next up, I went for my steel type now, which is the Jirachi 1111 Make-A-Wish. Base 100 in everything. Nice, well-rounded mon, can do lots of different things. Serene Grace, extra chance to flinch, or any additional effects on moves. So that's cool. And then it's got the setup in Carmind as well. Healing Wish can heal something up, sacrificing itself to heal something up. Stealth Rock as well, so getting a couple of Stealth Rock setters right off from the start is nice, having those options. Trick Room, U-turn, just for that momentum, and then Wish for some Wish pass, some passing some wishes around again, which is nice. Not Wish pass, because it doesn't get Tom pass as far as I know, so, but yeah, just being able to wish some things up is a nice thing to have. But yeah, it's a nice mon, can do a lot of different things. Obviously has the base 100 and everything, so it can go all different ways, offensive, defensive, especially, or physically. It's bulky as well. 100 HP is base HP is quite a lot, especially with the 100 defenses as well. Next up, I was continuing the theme of power picks and base 100 mons. Obviously, I still have a ton of options of things to pick, and luckily nothing's been sniped yet. I'm lucky I got Jirachi, nothing got sniped between I think 22 picks or something in between my first pick and this one. But luckily there's only another 8 picks or something between this pick and my next pick, which is the Victini Conviction. Base 100 Victory Star, which ups accuracy, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly. Has quick attack, taunt, trick room, U-turn, some nice priority, the ability to stop status miss from your opponent, trick room, and U-turn for that momentum as well. So some nice, once again, has lots of coverage in both special and physical moves. Has some nice bulk because of the HP and defenses there as well, and can be quite speedy if needed. Just a decent all-round one and a real nice pickup for me. I know that I'm stacking on the dark weaknesses, the ghost weaknesses, bug weaknesses, But I mean, I do have the Diancie as well that can deal with those things. So I don't feel that's too bad at this point in time. Next up, what was next? I mean, we'll see when I go to the next slide, but trying to remember off the top of my head, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, okay. Discount Lego, my stack attacker. HP 61, attack whopping 131, a defense a insane 211, special attack 53, 101 special defense, speed 13. Yeah, so Discount Lego here is one of my offensive Z move users, because this is a Z Captain draft league. So you have an offensive, two offensive Z move users and one any Z move user, super Z move user. Sorry, stumbling over my words a bit there. But yeah, it gets Stealth Rocks as well, which is pretty cool, and then the Trick Room too. But yeah, if you can't see the plan that I'm kind of going for this draft, then I mean, just think about things that these mons all have in common, I guess. I don't want to spoil it just yet. Like, most people would have figured it out, but I feel, I mean, I don't want to be offend anyone that hasn't, because like that's mean. So I'm not gonna say anyone's silly if they haven't figured it out yet or anything like that. But yeah, let's just say that this mon is one of the better ones for doing something like that. So I was really glad to be able to pick it up. Next up was a real budget mon, I think. Normally in like tier 1 A tiers, if I'm remembering what mon I'm thinking of, is up next. Yeah, my Starmie Ruby here. Generally up in the higher tiers. This was a tier 3 in this draft league, which I was 100% happy to pick it up at that. 60 HP, 75 attack, 85 defense, 100 special attack, 85 special defense, and 115 speed. So yeah, pretty cool mon to pick up for such a budget price, I feel, especially having the rapid spin, reliable recovery in recover. Reflect type is a neat thing that it can do. Yeah, so I can give it a nice type that can help out with my weakness to ghost and dark moves that I have at the moment, and bug as well. And then once again the Trick Room. Yeah, Illuminate, useless ability, so it'll never run that. Natural Cure is nice, Analytic is nice. Natural Cure, once again, removes status moves when it switches out, and then Analytic, if I'm remembering my abilities correctly, it does more damage if it moves second, if it moves after your opponent, which is pretty cool. Yeah, so a nice pickup there for budget, and I'm definitely happy with that. Once again, it's like half psychic though, but once again, I do have the Mega Diancie at this point, which I feel covers for its weaknesses, and the stack attacker isn't too bad at taking those hits that would be super effective against the other three as well. Next up is my Porygon Z. So that's an immunity to ghost types as well, which is nice, and it's got some decent bulk to it and a nice special attack stat too. 85 HP, 80 attack, 70 defense, 135 special attack, 75 special defense, 90 speed. Adaptability. I cannot for the life of me remember what that does, but that's alright. Download boosts special attack when it comes into play, and then Analytic, as I said, is does more damage if it moves second. Notable moves can boost up with agility, nasty plot, can recover with recover, which is nice on a defensive mon, like what can be a defensive mon like this. and then the Trick Room 2. So yeah, the plan that I'm thinking of should be making itself more and more apparent the further we get through this draft analysis. I'll go through what my plan is at the end, so don't worry if you're not realizing it at this point. Like, anyone that is realizing it at this point is probably like, that is so dumb, like, it's not going to work. But who knows, you know, it could be, it's going to be fun to try, and I'm going to definitely try and make it work, so, but yeah, I don't want to spoil it just yet. Next up is my Miss Magius. Morrigan here is my any Z-move user, because it gets things like Destiny Bond, Heal Bell, Memento. Z Memento is the main reason I wanted this to be my Z-move user, because like Memento, it sacrifices the Miss Magius here, assuming it uses it, and then lowers the attack and special attack of the opposing Pokemon by 2. So Z Memento also heals the Pokemon that you bring in after that as well, which is crazy. It's really nice to have. But yeah, it's got the nasty plot. Sucker Punch, like, it's not a physically offensive mon, but you know, you could catch someone off surprise, catch someone off by surprise, off by surprise. You could catch someone by surprise. You could catch someone off with that. Taunt and Trick Room. Yeah, a nice specially offensive, decently speedy mon that has the utility of being our any Z-move, super Z-move user, which is real nice. So probably expected to bring this to a few games. And Levitate, it dodges those ground type moves, which are super effective against the stack attacker as well. And the, the Mega Diancie, which is some nice kind of synergy there as well. Secondary synergy. Next up is Idolmaster, my Meloetta. HP 100, 77 attack, 77 defense, 128 special attack, and 128 special defense, 90 speed. I found this out the hard way the other week. Takes special hits like a boss. Is really nice. And then along with the Porygon Z is my Ghost immunities for this, which is good because I do have a lot weak to Ghost, Bug, and Dark. So it's good to have something that can at least be immune to one of those weaknesses on my team. And then Serene Grace as well, same as Jirachi. Double the chance of extra additional effects on moves is nice. And got the Calm Mind, the Heal Bell as well, which is cool. Knock off, get rid of some items. It's not the most physically offensive mon either, but it's good to have that utility. Same with the Quick Attack, could come in useful. Trick Room and U-Turn for the momentum too. So I have a few things that can U-turn about. Yeah. A good addition to the team, especially down in this tier 3 as well. Though I think Meloetta is normally even lower in some leagues, which I think is pretty crazy. But whatever, I'm not a tierer, I don't know what I'm talking about. Next up is Bruxish. Sure, it has the same typings as the Starmie there, but it has the physical damage rather than the special damage. 68 HP, 105 attack, 70 defense, 70 special attack, 70 special defense, 92 speed, dazzling, strongjaw, wonder skin abilities. I kind of wanted this for the dazzling ability mainly. being able to stop priority is a pretty neat ability to have. It and Serena, like, pretty cool because of it. Serena is obviously a hit better priority stopper because it gets like things like the rapid spin and some like nice coverage moves as well. But yeah, Redraks also has Strong Jaw, increasing biting moves, and Wonder Skin, lowering status moves like Thunderwave and Spore and stuff like that to 50% rather than their higher percentage. So it has like 50-50 of hitting or not. It gets Aquajet for some nice priority there. Psychic Fangs can get rid of screens, like Light Screen and Reflect, which is pretty cool. Can set up Sword Stance as well, which is pretty neat. And then Trick Room. But yeah, the Dazzling to stop any priority is nice. So can like bring this in as a Scarf or set it up real slow in a Trick Room or something like that. And then if it's the fastest or the slowest thing, then it's going to go first and nothing can get past that with priority, which is pretty neat. Next up, I've got the Alolan Executor, Best Dragon, which is also one of my offensive Z-move users. Because it gets some nice coverage in its move and has lots of different choices for Z-moves that it could bring. 95 HP, 105 attack, 85 defense, 125 special attack, 75 special defense, and 45 speed. So it has some nice potential for a mixed attacker as well. Like 105 to 125 attack and special attack is not bad, so it can go either way there. Got the Chlorophyll, Frisk, Harvest abilities. Chlorophyll double speed in Sun. Frisk tells you what item your opponent is holding, and Harvest gets any berries back that it has a chance to get any berries back that it uses, which is pretty cool. It gets some nice recovery options actually with Moonlight and Synthesis. Trick Room and Wish, so another Wish support here as well if I really want to bring it like that. But yeah, this is my dragon to finish off my Fairy Steel Dragon core that I started in my first two picks. Sorry, and yeah, managed to get this right at the end of my draft as well, which is pretty cool. It wasn't the very last pick. My last pick did get sniped. It was meant to be, what I was aiming for was the Gallade because, as you've seen, Dark type runs through my team quite a lot, and having a fighting type could have been nice. But, yeah, instead I picked up the Trevenant, my Scaretree. 85 HP, 110 attack, 76 defense, 65 special attack, 82 special defense, and 56 speed. Is got some bulk behind it. Has got some bulk behind it. Got natural cure, so you can switch it into status moves with no worries. Frisk and Harvest, same as the Alolan Executor. It's also got Curse, Destiny Bond, and Trick Room as some noticeable moves that it can use too. Besides its usual like coverage moves and stuff like that. Looking at my team, if there's anything that I was going to be looking to drop, it would maybe be the Trevenant, see if I can find something else to pick up. But if I don't have to drop it, I'm not going to. Because I do like the look of this team. Now, I will guess I will spoil what I'm going with a bit. Yeah, but that's my team for the DBA, the Distortion Battle Association. yeah, so basically, it's a trick room team. Everything on this team has the potential to be a trick room setup, but I also have enough speedy threats that I don't have to run trick room if I don't want to, or I feel like it's not going to be super beneficial to me. Um, but yeah, there's definitely some real threats. Stack Attacker is possibly one of the best trick room users in the game, just because it's so dang slow and its attack stat is like pretty dang high. And then it can get beast boosts in the attack stat pretty easily, so it can be a quite a strong trick room um, sweeper. And then things like Bruxish to be able to stop that priority. Victini and Jirachi being able to be quite bulky. Porygon being able to be quite bulky. Diancie just being Diancie. Be able to do some damage while still being relatively bulky. But yeah, so I know that there are definitely some things I need to watch out for. Real weak to Dark, Bug, and Ghost, but I feel like I have enough that can get around those weaknesses that it might not be a huge deal. But yeah, definitely something that like has been in the back of my mind that I've wanted to be I've wanted to try out for a while now. And I feel like this league is definitely the best opportunity I'm going to have to be able to just try out new things, um, and see how well I can perform using unconventional tactics, I guess. Um, but yeah, that's my team. That's the Adelaide Redraks for the DBA Season 1. Thank you for watching my draft analysis, and let me know how stupid you think I am for picking a Trick Room team. And yeah, thanks for watching. Peace.